All right, we'll keep an eye on that and the White House's response. We're also watching news from the former administration. As expected, former President Donald Trump was not so happy about the announcement from New York Attorney General Letitia James. We brought you it as it happened yesterday, right here on National Report. James filed a civil suit against Trump and his children and the Trump Organization for $250 million.
To bar Mr. Trump and the Trump Organization from entering into any New York State commercial real estate acquisition or from applying for loans from any financial institution in New York for 5 years. To pay for the financial benefits obtained as a result of the persistent fraudulent practices at an estimated $250 million.
Well, James following through on her campaign promise to go after Trump and find a way to, quote, get him. Trump camp responding, saying this: today's filing is neither focused on the facts nor the law. Rather, it is solely focused on advancing the Attorney General's political agenda. It is abundantly clear that the Attorney General's office has exceeded its statutory authority by prying into transactions where absolutely no wrongdoing has taken place. We're confident that our judicial system will not stand for this unchecked abuse of authority, and we look forward to defending our client against each and every one of the Attorney General's meritless claim. That from the president's attorney, Alina Habba. It was a tough day all around, though, for the former president. Another decision would allow the DOJ to use classified documents seized from his Mar-a-Lago home. Our national correspondent Mike Carter has the details on that live from our New York newsroom. Mike, good morning.
Emma, good morning. Well, it was a 3-judge panel on that federal appeals court on Wednesday, which marked a big win for the Justice Department, clearing the way for investigators to continue scrutinizing documents seized during the FBI's raid of Mar-a-Lago last month, as investigators consider whether to bring criminal charges against former President Trump. In lifting a hold on a core aspect of the department's probe, the court is removing an obstacle that could have delayed the investigation by several weeks. The appeals court also noting that Trump had presented no evidence that he had declassified the sensitive records, as Trump himself has maintained. Well, the court also rejecting the possibility that Trump could have, quote, individual interest in or need for the roughly 100 documents with classification markings that were seized by the FBI in its August 8th raid of Mar-a-Lago. The government arguing that its investigation had been impeded and national security concerns swept aside by an order from a U.S. district judge to temporarily bar investigators from continuing to use the documents in their investigation. That district judge, who was a Trump appointee, had said that the hold would remain in place pending a separate review by an independent arbiter that was appointed at the Trump team's request to review the records. But the appeals panel on Wednesday agreeing with the Justice Department's concerns. It is self-evident that the public has a strong interest in ensuring that the storage of classified records did not result in exceptionally grave damage to the national security, they wrote. Ascertaining that, they added, necessarily involves reviewing the documents, determining who had access to them and when, and deciding which sources or methods are compromised. An injunction that delayed or prevented the criminal investigation from, quote, using classified materials risks imposing real and significant harm on the United States and the public, they wrote. 2 of the 3 judges who issued Wednesday's ruling, Britt Grant and Andrew Brasher, were nominated to the 11th Circuit by Donald Trump. Judge Robin Rosenbaum was nominated by former President Barack Obama. The DOJ had argued that a special master review of the classified documents was not necessary. It said Trump had no plausible basis to invoke executive privilege over the documents, nor could the records be covered by attorney-client privilege because they do not involve communications between Trump and his lawyers. Emma?
Developments there. Mike Carter, thanks so much for that report.
You got it.